Okay, here by using this table, yeah, to make easy understand the type of cheese. Yeah, there is a type of soft cheese, yeah, with the moisture content 42, sorry, 45 to 75%. The moisture content. Yes, this is why the soft, yeah, because the water content is high. Yeah, the texture is soft, normally with the white color and sometimes spreadable. Yeah, spreadable cheese. Yeah, for example, for ricotta cheese, yeah, it's the spreadable. The shelf life is a few days, yeah. This, for example, here is cottage, ricotta, and cream cheese, yeah. Mainly for cream cheese, yeah, it's spreadable. We use as to eat with bread, yeah, bread. And semi-hard cheese, yeah, semi-hard cheese with the moisture content 35 to 45%, yeah. The texture is firm, yeah, crumbly, and also can be sliced, yeah. The shelf life is a few months, yeah. Here the popular, yeah, mozzarella I think is very popular, yeah, because very famous, yeah, in Indonesia. People eat mozzarella frequently, yeah. Mostly in pizza, yeah. Pizza is mozzarella is must, yeah. Like to make it pizza must be like with the elastic cheese, yeah, as the topping, yeah. And also sometimes you eat meatball, yeah, bakso, yeah, with mozzarella cheese, yeah, or even eat Indomie, yeah, instant noodle, yeah, with mozzarella, yeah. The cheese is plain, the plain taste, yeah. So match with the other variety of food, yeah. This is called brie, yeah. I feel brie because this in Frank's word is brie, yeah, camembert, yeah, and also Swiss, but it's just typical for the semi-hard, yeah, not the Swiss for Emmentaler, but yes, Swiss cheese that for soft type, yeah, of cheese. Edam and also Gouda. Yeah, it's semi-hard cheese. The quantity of water content is 35 to 45. And for hard cheese, the water content is less than 34%. Yeah, range from 13 to 34%. This is very firm, yeah, dense and also sometimes creamy, yeah. So the shelf life is 1 year or more, yeah. Sometimes, you know, for Emmentaler, there is also for the time of manufacturing take 2 years, yeah, 24 months for the fermentation, for the maturation, not fermentation but maturation of the cheese, yeah, take time, yeah, for Emmentaler. This is where the price also is very expensive, yeah, Emmentaler, yeah. This the Emmental cheese, yeah, is very famous in Swiss, yeah, Emmentaler, yeah. That the typical is there is hole, yeah, in the cheese. Maybe later I will show you some picture of the cheese, yeah. Parmesan cheese also is kind of half cheese, Cheshire, yeah, cheddar, and also Gruyere, yeah. And blue vein cheese that will this the by mold, yeah, mold with the color is blue, yeah. This is why, but sometimes not really blue, yeah, but blue, gray, yeah, a little dark or black, yeah. But we call it blue, yeah, because there is a blue color also, yeah. So this is the because there is mold, yeah. Normally for Roquefort, yeah, there is Penicillium roqueforti, yeah. Stilton, Gorgonzola. This is typical for the blue vein, yeah. You know the taste is very strong, yeah, very strong. So this is why if you not consume cheese, yeah, infrequently, yeah, I think at the beginning you don't like this cheese, yeah, but after you taste, yeah, little by little, yeah, you will accept this and you like very much, yeah. Yeah, I like very much this kind of blue cheese, yeah. Because the taste, the flavor, it's very strong, very interesting, yeah. Okay, here is the picture for the different type of cheese, yeah. Here is fresh cheese, yeah. It's kind of fresh cheese, you know. Here is cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, yeah. So we eat here sometimes just only by salt, yeah, mixed by salt. So we eat spread with bread, in France there is biscuit, like a biscuit, but yeah, like the biscuit, like the sorry, in bahasa roti panggang that already dry, crispy, bread that already baked or fried, until we got a crispy texture. We split on top and we eat, like this. So this is for this. Okay, this is for Roquefort cheese, very interesting. There is the fluid color here. It's very strong taste. It's very nice. And this is brie, typical. So if you look, it's very similar, brie and camembert, almost similar, but the texture normally brie is softer than camembert. And here is Swiss cheese, Emmentaler, Emmentaler cheese, Emmental, we call Emmental cheese. That is typical of Hull, it's very interesting, that this is the price of one wheel Emmentaler cheese, more expensive than motorbike, Okay. And this is Gorgonzola. This is also same with Roquefort. I think for Roquefort, so when we look at the big size, normally it's like this also. At the beginning, like this, big cheese, and they cut, into the quarter or just like the Stilton and Gorgonzola is almost the same, but for the color of fluid, Gorgonzola is more intensive. So here I think was stronger taste, stronger flavor, compared to Stilton. And I think here is you familiar with Gouda. The red color here is the wax, wax with the red color. So we cannot eat the red, the outside, this coating we cannot eat. So you must remove the red. This is to preserve the Gouda cheese, to get longer shelf life. This is Grana cheese and also Gloucester, this kind of hard cheese. Okay, so in more detail, this table, you please you read, take so more detail, here cheese category for unripened shop. This is the unripened, which means the fresh cheese, cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, and also what is cottage, ricotta, and what's the picture before? There is also ricotta cheese, cottage cheese. That's the more the famous. That's a ricotta cheese. Okay, so the moisture content sometimes it's high, because it's the fresh cheese. Mozzarella is 50, around 50, and here the starter combustion also. Okay, so in mozzarella also there is a starter, so we add starter here to get the flavor, during the maturation of cheese. The starter function for acid production, this is for acid production. So non-secondary fora means for example, for camembert, we use Penicillium camemberti. For Roquefort, we use Penicillium roqueforti. This is the secondary fora. Okay, this is also as above, and here to go secondary fora, the flavor is typically fatty acid, ammonia, complex, more complex with the fora, more fora, so we get major flavor is more complex. Okay, so this sometimes also there's Penicillium versicolum, but sometimes we call Penicillium camemberti, see that's camembert. Okay, this is for Bouvain, Roquefort, Penicillium Roquefort, also Geotrichum acidum. For Emmentaler, there is starter function here. There is a lot of starter, many bacteria, put in the Emmentaler, yeah. So such as Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacillus, Lactobacillus tupi, etc. And also this the typical Propionibacterium Shermanii. This Propionibacterium here is very important to produce carbon dioxide. Yeah, carbon dioxide, the gas formation that is important to make the whole shape, yeah, inside the cheese, yeah, with the maturation of cheese, yeah, Propionibacterium. Okay, and this here, so there's almost the same, yeah. This also there is Propionibacterium, means there is the hole, yeah, inside the cheese, yeah. There is the typically for when we use Propionibacterium, there is the formation of hole because there is the formation of carbon dioxide. So the Propionibacterium will consume lactic acid, yeah, produced by lactic acid bacteria, yeah. Lactic acid bacteria produce lactic acid, yeah. So lactic acid consumed by Propionibacterium to produce carbon dioxide. Okay, here is the flow diagram for the main step of cheese making. Starting from milk, yeah. We add here with the culture, yeah, in the milk, yeah. Blue mold culture if we make the bluefin cheese, yeah. And also starter culture, yeah, mixed from the lactic acid bacteria, bacteria, and also the Propionibacterium if we use, yeah. And we add here rennet or coagulant, yeah. So the coagulant, yeah, normally to produce fresh cheese, yeah, for ricotta cheese and cottage cheese, yeah, we use only the acid. Sometimes they use the combination acid and heating the temperature, yeah. But for other cheese, we use rennet, the kind of enzyme, yeah. But rennet not normally actually in almost cheese manufacturer that I have visited, yeah, the rennet coming not from extraction animal, yeah, but rennet is produced by microbial, yeah, microbial. Okay, so after by using rennet and coagulant, yeah, we get gel, yeah. Gel here is curd, chemical curd. The curd, sorry, yeah, yeah. There is curd, gel, sometimes also called cloth, yeah. Yeah, this also almost the same, yeah. This is the word, yes. Curd is kind of casein gel, the formation of solid, yeah. This, yeah. After gel cutting, and sometimes we make a small we grind, yeah, we grinding with we have a small granule, yeah, small granule to make easy to add with the salt, for example, and that to make easy to be formed, yeah. This after that scalding of cooking, yeah. So you know, here for the different, yeah, for soft cheese we use only 32 degrees Celsius for soft cheese, yeah. For semi-hard we use 33 to 35, yeah. Here to make to get the firm, yeah, with the cooking here, we have a more firm, yeah, more firm. The cut become firm and bahasa keras, yeah, lebih keras, firm. And for hard cheese, yeah, we use higher temperature, yeah. So again, more firm in there, yeah, 38 to 40 degrees Celsius, yeah. And then also for cooked cheese, yeah, there's more than 40 degrees Celsius, yeah. Okay, after scalding of cooking here, yeah, we put water to wash, yeah. We remove whey, yeah. So whey is a byproduct of cheese, yeah. Whey. So if you want whey, make whey powder, yeah, whey protein isolate, yeah. This coming from the byproduct of cheese manufacturer, yeah. So water is very important to add to remove to clean up the curd to clean up the curd here from whey, because if there is still present whey, yeah, the problem is here because in whey there is lactose, yeah. You know, lactose is contained in because lactose is kind of sugar. This is soluble in water, yeah. So this is found in whey milk, yeah. So if whey present in curd here still, so this make a problem in mainly for the hard cheese and semi-hard cheese, yeah, that there is a white color, whiter color like in the surface of cutting intersection of the cheese, not interesting, yeah. And because there is the white spot like this, is not interesting, yeah. This can change the appearance, yeah, make not interesting appearance for the cheese. So this is why we use water, yeah, to clean up, to wash the curd, yeah, to free from whey, yeah. And this whey is not is kind product, yeah. Actually whey is very important, yeah. You know, whey is still have a high content of protein, high content lactose, yeah. So this is why from whey milk, yeah, even this is only byproduct, yeah. Maybe a long time ago whey is just throwaway, yeah. Throwaway become yeah, like you know, have you visited the manufacturer of tofu, yeah? So there is a bad smell in the area of tofu producer, yeah. Also in the cheese, long time ago, whey just throw away in the environment like this, yeah. In the fur, there also make the bad smell, yeah, because there is a fermentation of whey. But actually today, yeah, whey we process whey into whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate. Yes, protein is high, and also to produce lactose, yeah. From the whey back to byproduct, we can produce whey. And according to the process, yeah, we can all here is sweet whey, yeah. Sometimes sour whey, yeah. Sweet whey. Maybe from the characteristic of food material, yeah, you already learned about this, yeah. Whey. So sweet whey, if we process the formation here by using the rennet, yeah, rennet this as a coagulant, yeah. This coagulant also here normally we use also the calcium, yeah, iron calcium. So normally we put a little bit for calcium chloride, yeah, just to get calcium ion. Calcium, the important is the calcium, yeah. Calcium to make the cheese cloth is more firm, yeah, to get this, yeah, firm. Okay, if the coagulant used is rennet, yeah, we can get sweet whey. But if the coagulant is, for example, acetic acid, yeah, to produce ricotta cheese or cottage cheese, yeah, normally we use for the fresh cheese, yeah, we use acid, yeah, they call sour whey, yeah, sour serum, sour because the taste is sour, yeah, acid, yeah, sour whey, yeah. Okay, so here the separation of whey and curd, yeah, so it's very important. We get curd, and from curd we can proceed according to the process of milk, yeah. For example, here to produce camembert, yeah, to produce camembert we make add with the surface white mold, yeah. So the secondary flora add after the curd formation, yeah. The secondary flora to get camembert, brie, also coulommiers, yeah, in many type of this coulommiers, yeah. It's very fortunately I have already tried all this, yeah. And also for the cheddar cheese, yeah, doing the cheddar is a kind, cheddar and mozzarella is typically almost the same, yeah. But for mozzarella the elastic strength is higher, yeah, compared to cheddar. But for cheddar cheese also have typically melted, yeah, when we make when we hit the cheese, yeah, the cheese become melting. This kind of cheddar, yeah, or mozzarella, yeah, mozzarella, but more elastic, yeah, compared to cheddar, because here we proceed with the process by using stretching, yeah. Here only cheddaring, the process is cheddaring. Cheddaring is just, yeah, maybe like in meat is like tumbling like this, yes. In bahasa maybe diuleni, yeah, with cheddaring. But mozzarella we uh, we use stretching, yeah, stretching like plastic we stretch, yeah, orientation with P orientation polypropylene like this, yeah, that's stretching. So that's the formation, the characteristic become more elastic, yeah. Mozzarella have typically more elastic than mozzarella is more elastic than cheddar. And we from curd we press to get shape, yeah, for a dam for Gouda cheese, yeah. Gouda normally by using the wax as a coating, yeah, to preserve to get a longer shelf life. And for blue bean cheese we add here also by using the secondary flora, yeah, for blue bean, Penicillium roquefort, for example, yeah. And then maturation, after that maturation, yeah, and then cut or shred and package, yeah, to send in the retail market, yeah. Okay, this is the all, yeah, how to produce cheese, yeah, very interesting, yeah. But at the beginning the basic is to form curd, yeah. And how to get curd, there are different in the coagulant use, yeah, and coagulant and the rennet use, yeah. And also there is different in the cooking and scalding, yeah. So please remark this, yeah, important. Okay, so the basic cheese manufacturing is the formation of milk cloth, yeah. This is I already read, yeah, right, about cloth, curd, yeah, to the casein coagulation. So that the component that coagulate is casein. Casein is kind of protein, yeah. And there are 3 methods, yeah, to calculate casein, yeah, to form cloth here by adding coagulating enzyme rennet, yeah. Here almost all cheese, yeah, use this, yeah, rennet, but actually we use rennet not from animal, yeah, but rennet from microbial, yeah. We produce rennet microbial. This I think because from animal, I think this difficult for the consumer. That's for what's one for the that only consume from, yeah, vegetarian people, yeah, or for the Muslim consumer, Jewish consumer, yeah. This is something don't want to eat enzyme that produced by animal rennet, yeah. This is why actually the in many cheese industry, yeah, use microbial rennet. And second one by using acid, yeah, you know, citric acid, vinegar, or lactic acid, yeah. So this is where to decrease the pH until 4.6, yeah. This is the isoelectric point for protein casein, yeah. So to make curd, yeah. And by using acid here, the way that we produce we call sour whey, yeah. And by using the most is by using combination acid and heating, yeah. This is for ricotta cheese, and also this is also in Italia, yeah, queso blanco cheese, yeah. This is type of ricotta cheese, yeah. Okay, so there are 3 types by adding enzyme, yeah. There's the protease enzyme, yeah. So by using acid only, and combination acid and heating. Okay, and the additive used in cheese is starter culture and the rennet coagulant, and also calcium chloride, yeah, here, yeah, to get more firm, yeah, bahasa more lebih keras, yeah, firm, yeah. And also this is the potassium nitrate or this, yeah, but mostly it's by using this. I think very rare, yeah. I didn't find cheese industry using this, mostly by using this. And lysozyme, here is kind of preservative agent, to inhibit the maybe the organism that we don't want present in cheese, For example, here to inhibit the Clostridium Tyropytericum, etc. That maybe here if the present this, can inhibit the other bacteria by we use lysozyme, And normally for the cheese that have the maturation long time, we use lysozyme. And for starter, this is the mix of culture starter. This is important to get to produce lactic acid, most important. Also ability to break down the protein to get the amino acid and the contribution and the flavor, smell, etc. And also some that able to produce carbon dioxide. That's very famous as Propionibacterium, Propionibacterium ceremanii. This is the culture to produce carbon dioxide, widely used in Emmentaler cheese, Emmentaler cheese. Okay, so concerning the rennet, this is to calculate, to calculate casein, so the fundamental, this is the fundamental process, to calculation of casein to make curd, to form curd of milk cloth. This for a long time ago, only we use rennet that we call also chymosin, the enzyme. This is take from the intestine or for the animal, animal rennet, but actually we do with the microbial. Here is the mode action of rennet. There are two major process. The addition of rennet. There is transformation of casein to paracasein. So this then there is precipitation of paracasein, precipitation of calcium ion. So there is important adding calcium ions, to make the curd formation is more effective. So the whole process is governed by temperature, acidity, and also the calcium content. Okay, the optimum temperature of rennet is around 40 degrees Celsius. In more detail, rennet is kind of protease, that cleavage means cutting, cut the phenyl in 105 and with methionine 106, the liaison and the casein milk. Okay, so at the beginning, we use rennet is extracted from the stomach of young calf or young maybe pork or pig, but actually we use from microbial, because this is bovine and porcine rennet also used, combination with calf rennet. Calf rennet is very effective, because this is the effectivity. Call here is the strength of rennet. So we can use 1 to 10,000. One rennet to make curd, for 10,000 liters of milk. Okay, and actually there is also rennet in foam powder. This with the EPD 10 times stronger than liquid rennet. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, we use substitute animal rennet. It means the effectivity, the function is likely rennet from stomach of calf or from bovine or from pig, porcine rennet. But this is become problem if you use animal rennet, because concerning for the vegetarian in many countries, and also for the Muslim consumer, the Jew, Israel consumer, refuse not accept animal rennet. So this is why we use substitute rennet from microbial rennet. Yeah. So mostly for the even in Europe, yeah, Europe there is C.H.R. Hudson, yeah, the famous producer of enzyme, and also for the culture bacteria for cheese, and also for the meat product, yeah, fermented meat product. Yeah, yeah, the already halal certified, yeah, by HFCE. So this is guarantee that also that is halal rennet. Yeah, and mostly when I audit many industry, cheese industry, yeah, in France and Germany and also in Poland that I have visited, all use from CSR Hudson that already covered by halal certificate. Yeah. So this is why I know the brand that already halal certified. Yeah. So when I visited France, Germany, I can choose the brand. In France, yeah, there is also famous president, yeah, brand is already used halal rennet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for the group that commonly used rennet and also coagulant. Yeah. The animal rennet coming from bovine stomach, yeah, or caprine stomach. So I don't know, for ovine stomach, yeah, maybe you can. But the famous one is bovine. Yeah. Microbial is to make the substitute, yeah, to replace the animal rennet. So here is, for example, FBC. FBC here is fermentation produce chymosin. So chymosin that resulted by fermentation from microbial. So this is the microbial. That's the brand is Cymex. Yeah. It's very widely used. Yeah. Call the word. Yeah. Use this. Yeah. Cymex. This is the activities like bovine chymosin and camelus chymosin. Yeah. Okay. And also we can use vegetable enzyme. Yeah. This, for example, Sinara paterculus. Yeah. Or maybe we can also papain, formalin, that protease enzyme can use, yeah, so coagulant. Yeah. But why is not use the plant vegetable enzyme? Because the taste is not good. Yeah, there is the bitter taste and the resulted cheese. This is why it's not popular, and cheese manufacturer using vegetable enzyme. Okay, so calcium chloride is very important, yeah, to improve the firmness. Yeah, so the firmness of the coagulum, the curd, is very important by using the calcium chloride. Normally we use 5 to 20 gram of calcium chloride, yeah, per 100 kilogram of milk. Yeah. Okay, so this is to get the formation of very important and the manufacturing of hard cheese, yeah, and semi-hard cheese. Okay, lysozyme is kind of preservative agent. Yeah, yeah. For example, to prevent the effect of the cheese, yeah, caused by butyric acid bacteria. We know that butyric acid as bacteria means produce butyric acid that the smell is not good. Yeah, that there's butyric acid. So this is the butyric acid bacteria such as Clostridium thyrobutyricum, yeah, Clostridium butyricum, and Clostridium sporogenes. Yeah, this we don't want the presence of this bacteria. Okay. Also for but maybe in some species, yeah, Clostridium thyrobutyricum is concerned, yeah, because here can ferment lactate, yeah, the butyric acid, and also carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Yeah. So when we this present, yeah, maybe the there is the formation of carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas, yeah, that goes larger than normal ice and cheese, yeah, or maybe crack in the cheese, yeah. Okay, so this is not this is very important to use lysozyme as a preservative and maturate that in cheese that must get the maturation in long time, yeah. And also there is a disturbance, yeah, in culture, yeah. So for example, the disturbance here is the presence of antibiotic, yeah. This is, but actually in all dairy industry, yeah, now there's the regulation, yeah. Milk that contain antibiotic must be rejected, yeah. Also there's the present bacteriophage and also detergent, sterilizing agent, yeah, also can disturb the function of culture for grow well, yeah. Okay, there's also the acidification. This to achieved by the formation of lactic acid bacteria, yeah. So during the formation of curd, this is very important to proper release of curd from whey, yeah, to control the growth of the undesirable bacteria. So acidification here achieved by the addition of lactic acid bacteria. So almost yeah, when we check the table, yeah, all cheese, yeah, use the culture and at least by using lactic acid bacteria, yeah. So this lactic acid bacteria convert lactose into lactic acid, yeah, that will reduce the pH and become acid. This is why we call acidification. And process salting means we add salt, yeah. This is salt is added almost in all cheese, yeah. Not only for preservative but also to keep the effect of texture and flavor, yeah. Okay, this is very important also to add salt, yeah. The addition, yeah, salt can be added directly into the curd, yeah, after the whey is run off, after the whey is thrown away, or before molding or pressing to the shape, or in the mozzarella cheese, yeah, the salt solution, yeah. So the block of cheese is immersed in the salt solution, yeah. So that we call salt brine, yeah. This is famous in the mozzarella. Maybe later we will watch the video, yeah. Okay, the curd manipulation as a heat treatment, yeah. There are different heating, yeah. This is different type of cheese need different temperature of heating, yeah. For the soft cheese, it's very very low temperature. Semi-hard cheese is more than 35, etc. So very important for curd manipulation by heating, yeah. Stretching is very important in mozzarella that we call pasta filata style, yeah. This Italian style, yeah. This is mozzarella. It's more famous. This is same, yeah, same. This is the term in Italia, but the famous name, yeah, the word is mozzarella. And so the traditional curd was immersed in hot, yeah, with the brine solution, yeah, in 80 degrees Celsius, yeah, and then then immersed in brine, yeah, to make get the preservative and also to get flavor and taste, yeah. And that's process for stretching. It's very important for the mozzarella type is process for stretching, yeah, is very important, yes, typically for mozzarella. So when we eat cheddar cheese, yeah, when we heat the cheddar cheese, also there is melting, but the melting is not elastic as mozzarella. Cheddar cheese is maybe just light, the stretching, the elasticity for mozzarella, because there is stretching, so that's the most elastic cheese, yeah. Okay, yeah, the type for the typical for the stretching. Yeah, after stretching. Yeah, this the form of mozzarella in the market. Yeah. So when you eat pizza like this, yeah. So look at for the elastic mozzarella cheese. Yeah, that's it here. Okay, yeah, yes, typical for mozzarella cheese. Yeah. Okay, for this, that's the fat for in the previous slide. Yeah, for the previous topic in pasteurization, we have fat pasteurizer, fat, FAT. This is fat, like this fat. Yeah, it's a big tank. Yeah, very big tank. They call fat. Yeah, and so let's watch the video how to make mozzarella cheese. Yeah. So if the video if we upload in YouTube, yeah, normally here video from YouTube, but maybe this have a property right. Yeah. So will will be deleted by YouTube. So this is why I ask you to download the video, our video directly. Yeah. So still embedded inside like this. Yeah. Okay. So look at this and please note from the receiving milk, yeah, until the formation of I must for how to share the voice. Sorry,
in the share screen, sir.
Share computers. Okay. Yeah, I think because still high quantity, high water content, so this must be kept in low temperature. Yeah, in chilling, normal in chilling, or maybe in the transportation, export. Yeah, maybe for and freezing condition for the mozzarella cheese. Yeah. Okay, here for cheddar cheese, yeah, cheddaring means the stretching, but my cheddar stretching only by hand like this, yeah, not by equipment, not by machine, yeah. So for the cheddaring is stretching also, but very little stretching, yeah. Cheddar, this is why cheddar and mozzarella, yeah. This is elastic cheese, yeah, made when we heat, yeah, when we apply heating, yeah. That is melting, but for cheddar cheese only little, yeah, the melting, not elastic like mozzarella. Yeah, so this is for cheddaring. Okay, so I have already cut this video, so this is only short. Yeah, please remark the material used and also prepare for the flow process chart to make more understanding about how to make cheddar cheese. Yeah, that's
good. Day to the Barry's Bay Cheese Factory in preparation for the making of cheese the following day. The fresh milk is pumped from the tanker straight into the refrigerated milk silo. On cheese making day, the milk is piped into the pasteurizer and pasteurized or sterilized at temperatures over 72 degrees Celsius for 4 seconds. From here, the milk is piped into the make vat.
Okay, vat, yeah, big tank. Yeah.
During the process, a starter culture and rennet are added to the vat. The starter culture contains bacteria which creates lactic acid necessary for making cheese, and rennet sets the vat. After the mixture has been left to set and is thickened, it's cut with wires to separate the curds from the whey.
Yeah. Okay, here is the cutting curd. Is very important, yeah, to get the penetration.
The mixture is then stirred with automatic stirrers.
Yeah, more effective.
After this process, heat is added to the vat via steam jacket.
Yeah,
the temperature is increased in order to cook the curds. This is a process that can take from 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on the varieties of cheese being made.
cheese. Yeah.
In the cheddar process, after the whey is drained
Okay.
off, the curd is freed up with automated mixers, which
difference
look like a
of,
series of teeth on a round mixer.
Cheddar and mozzarella cheese is different, yeah. This cutting and yeah, also try to get the granule and little bit first. Then later we can see the cheddaring means the stretching, little bit stretching cheddaring process.
The curds are then scooped to the sides of the vat and cut.
Okay, yeah, it's the cheddaring process, yeah.
The curds are then successively turned every 10 minutes for 1.5 hours, which stretches the curd in different directions, a process referred to as cheddaring. After this, the curd is then chipped, where it's placed through an automated chipper, which cuts the curd into chips.
We call cheddar cheese, yeah. I think, yeah, before the machine into the shape that we want to shape of cheese. Yeah.
Then the chipped curd is mixed once more up and down the vat with automated mixers, and salt is added, which
Okay,
pushes
we put
still
the
more
salt,
whey
yeah,
away
this
from the
way
curds
to make
and
it
acts
easy
as a
in
natural
mixing the
preservative.
salt, yeah. Get the taste and also as a preservative. Spread the
Finally, the curds are scooped out and put in hoops or cheddar molds.
form for the cheddar.
If rinded cheddar is being made, the hoops are lined with a very fine cheesecloth, which wraps tightly onto the outside of the cheese. The molds are then
And then
pressed with a
press,
horizontal press overnight.
Horizontal press, yeah. To get form also the texture, get form of cheddar cheese.
When the cheese comes out of the mold, it may be waxed, as in the case of the rinded cheddar, which is then left to mature for up to 3 years, turning every so often on white pine shelves in our cool store.
Okay, up to years. Okay, there's kind of cheddar cheese also. Yes, but many type of cheddar cheese. Yes, right. The maturation take
The
long
handcrafted
time,
nature
yeah?
of the cheeses extends to the cutting and packaging operation, where this process continues
Look
to
at
be
here.
performed
I think the
by
formation
hand.
of full is not much for cheddar cheese. Yeah, compared with the Emmentaler cheese. Yeah, Emmentaler cheese. There is many hole in the cheese. Yeah. There for the producer name. Yeah.
The cheese factory at Barry's Bay has been making cheese using traditional handcrafted methods for over 50 years.
That's why. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And the cheddar cheese. Yeah, there is also normally this step, but not shown in the video. Yeah, washing the curd. Yeah, but in the video there is the maturation. Yeah, we do this. Yeah. Okay, molding means to make a shape, a shape formation for the cheese shape, to the sphere, flattened sphere, this cylinder, or maybe the rectangular block, such as with in the mozzarella. Mozzarella is a rectangular block. And so for camembert, normally by using the sphere, this, like this. So here for molding for camembert, you can see here, camembert. Brie, Colomier, this is the shape like this. And for maturation or ripening, cheese, this depend on the type of cheese. For hard cheese, such as Emmentaler, take sometimes until 2 years, and also there's also that until 5 years of ripening. For white cheese, white color with the more white cheese, such as sorry, I want to make the for mozzarella, sorry, for camembert, normally only 1 month, less than 1 month the maturation. Here the ripening cheese, so the something the outside here is wax, normally, So for the cheddar cheese, 3 years the maturation, from according the video that we have watched the video. Okay, so for the camembert, only 15 days already ready, to get the mature camembert. And here for the pig, I think this is more than 3 years, to get the maturation. And so here is type of blue cheese, so sorry, I will try the Stilton cheese. It's very nice taste. Okay, so I think one more for the important type of cheese is Emmentaler cheese. The Emmentaler cheese means typical that there is a hole, in the inside the cheese, and this is that I call here the most the expensive cheese. The price is one Emmentaler cheese, round Emmentaler cheese, the price is more expensive than motorbike. Okay, so there is no video. Sorry, if you want production and how the mechanism, the formation of hole inside the cheese. So look at for the Emmentaler cheese, this one typical, So one round here, the price is more expensive than one motorbike, So Swiss Emmentaler cheese is made,
My name's Ju, and today I'm at the Emmentaler Schaukäserei to show you how traditional Emmentaler cheese is made. Now I'm actually in the village of Affoltern in Emmental, which is in a region just east of Bern. 80% using raw milk. 17,700 tons of Emmentaler are produced each year in this region by 150 family dairies. Cheese production started in this area over 200 years ago. It's a hilly region, so good for cattle grazing. The Emmentaler Schaukäserei show dairy was opened in 1989.
The process of cheese starts at the farmer, so we need high quality raw milk. Then we heat up the milk on 30 degrees. We put inside the bacteria, the rennet. We have to wait because the rennet will make a relationship between the fat and the protein. You are cutting the curds down to a size of 4 up to 6 millimeters, and then you're heating up another tank to 53 degrees. Pumping up through the forms, and then you are pressing that for 12 hours.
The cheese is pressed under hydraulic pressure for up to 12 hours.
Refreshing.
It then spends 8 weeks in the warm fermentation cellar at 22 degrees Celsius. It then goes into a storage cellar for up to 2 months before it's collected by the wholesaler. This makes the famous sweet taste and smooth texture of the cheese. The world famous holes, they're created by a reaction in the bacteria. After 1 month of storage, a strain of bacteria, Propionibacterium shermani, consumes lactic acid and releases carbon dioxide. These bubbles become trapped in the cheese rind and form holes, also known as eyes. But why are the cheeses so large? The size of Emmentaler wheels is heavily regulated, as most have a diameter of 80 to 100 centimeters. They need to be a minimum of 75 kilograms. The cheese produced here, a kilogram costs 19 Swiss francs, or $19. So one wheel could cost over 1,900.
So more than
You have to pay taxes
22 million. Yeah,
years ago.
more than 22. This already get multiplied. Yeah.
Taxes on a piece and not a kilogram.
Okay, I think it's enough. Yeah, show you the how the formation of ice or hole in the
Still 200
color
years.
cheese. Yeah. Okay, so there are 3 sources of cheese flavor. Yeah, cheese original from cheese milk. Yeah, it's natural buttermilk or butterfat. Also breakdown of product such as milk protein from the proteolytic enzyme. Yeah, fat from the lipolytic, and also sugar that produce for lactic acid and other flavor formation. Yeah, and also the metabolite of starter bacteria and other microorganisms that is including the catabolism of protein, fats, and sugar. Yeah, to produce typical cheese flavor. Yeah, and so the glycolysis and lipolysis is important. Yeah, from lactose or sugar, the formation to lactic acid. Yeah, and lipolysis. This is the free fatty acid. Yeah, that's also become the natural enzyme here. Yeah, flavor particular in cheese varieties. Yeah. Okay, from proteolysis also. Yeah, such as the proteolytic enzyme. Yes, from Penicillium camemberti. Yeah, Frankfurt. Yeah, here also get this to make a natural flavor from typically Proven cheese. Yeah, and also there is during the ripening of cheese. Yeah, so you can see there are a lot of type of cheese. Yeah, for cheddar cheese there is also until 3 years the maturation, and for the Emmentaler cheese, yeah, the best quality is until 2 years. Yeah, 24 months of the maturation. Yeah, with the maturation there is the biochemical glycolysis, hydrolysis, there is formation of amine, aldehyde, alcohol, and other flavor to add the flavor of cheese. Yeah. Okay, a little bit about the processed cheese. Yeah, we know the processed cheese. Yeah, like in Indonesia. Yeah, very famous the cheddar cheese. Yeah, this is not real cheddar, directly cheddar. Yeah, but mostly is for the sliced cheese like this is made by using processed cheese. Yeah, I mean the processed cheese is a mix. Yeah, from the many type of cheese and plus emulsifier and saturated vegetable oil, extraction, and other flavoring. Yeah. So here, for example, the raw material for processed cheese is from hard cheese, semi-soft cheese, and soft cheese with the combination. Yeah. And then the additive, yeah, citric acid, phosphate, lactic acid, and butter or butter oil, and also the flavoring spices. That's the famous brand.